Alrighty, we are here once again. It is the O Snap Show. I'm getting the wheels started. It just happens to be Father's Day. I happen to be a father of five wonderful, wonderful children, and I can't call two of them children anymore. I've got to call two of them adults, but they are definitely the lights of my life. Um, They don't all appreciate it, but I do in more ways than they will ever know. Um, there's going to be more stuff to talk about later on the show about dad, but let's get this ball going with the beer that I am drinking right now. Ziegenbach. That's right, Ziegenbach Amber. Uh, I believe you can only get this in Texas. It's I'm reading. The only finest ingredients brewed with the pride of the heart, Texas. Ziegenbach. I believe it was. I think you can only get it in Texas, which is a great thing because that means there's more of it for me. Great beer. Next week I will be in Illinois visiting family and friends. So I'm gonna try and get a whole bunch of video clips of me just hanging out, being goofy, and hopefully share those with you guys. That should be interesting. Definitely a lot of oh snap moments with me hanging with family. Um, Needless to say, I got the funny from somewhere, and mostly my family's funny, way funnier than me. They just don't have the balls to get in front of a camera and display the funny. And I think my camera's a little off. What? Okay. Anyway, um, with more things on the way. We're waiting for Lonnie to show up. He said he was going to show up to the show, so eventually he will be here. He's not MIA like other shows. And last week I have to apologize. I know I was getting to the point of being pretty regular on the show, but of course I got sick. Some weird allergic reaction. I think I've got a couple of mosquito bites now, but it was like I had a bad reaction to a mosquito bite or maybe some brisket. I don't know. Something happened and it was really weird. And I'm okay now. Uh, I had the poops and then it was gone. No, I took some Benadryl and I was good. So it was real fun to be sick. You can see my face dripping with sarcasm about that. Sucked. Had like chills and stuff. Uh-oh. Is that Lonnie? Oh, there he is. He said he's trying to get in, so we'll be seeing him shortly. There's a lot of topics to talk about. The the uh, uh, summer haircuts, movies, Harrison Ford getting hurt, the possibility of um, there being Agents of Shield in the next Avenger movie, things like that. We're going to try and find out how they're going to introduce Aquaman in the DC movie world. Um, hopefully hopefully it's done nice and gently and it's not going to be crazy. There's been several rumors of who is going to be playing the wonderful Mariner. So hopefully, oh, what? Hey, what's that? Oh, I'm hearing extra sounds. The Avengers 2 opening possibly being revealed. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to do a lot of rumor control today, as this show has turned into a comic book show more so than me doing comedy. But hey, this show is going to take a lot of turns. And then Paddington Bear coming to the theaters. I'm excited about that because I've loved the books as a child. Can't wait to see him come to the movie theater. I think it's about time. If they can bring Curious George to the movies, it's about time they brought Paddington Bear to the movies. So, um, and yeah, he's trying to get in. Coolio. I thought. Let me double check and make sure I've got this show public. The last time I did the show, it said I was live, but it also was saying that I that it wasn't a public show, and I was like, you know what? That's not right. It should be public. There it goes. It's public. I'm sharing it again. There we go. And yeah, we got some people. Some people are going to tell me that hey, they don't want to see my show. That's fine. I do not begrudge them at all. Um, anyway, we're getting all set up. Things to remember. Oh snap show at gmail.com is the email address, and I think I'm going to put that in there, and then I'll check my emails, and I will be seeing if you guys are commenting or telling me stuff, giving me ideas for shows. That's always, 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 always needed and wanted. I can't say that enough. I need as much help as possible. Can't say that enough. Need as much help as possible with the show. I'm trying to check that email right now, actually, as we get it on. Yeah, still waiting on Lonnie. Trying to think. Let's get into the the nitty gritty of it, and let's talk about Star Wars. Harrison Ford getting hurt. You know what? Breaking news, actually. Earlier today, a wonderful voice actor, radio personality, Casey Kasem, has passed away. For the longest, he was his health was declining. He couldn't do his New Year's Eve shows, and they had Ryan Seacrest filling in for him, and we all knew his health was deteriorating, but we were hoping, for a couple more years. But he's finally succumbed. He's no longer with us. I forgot what voices. I guess I better IMDb it real quick and see what voices he did. What voices he did, because he did lots of voices, but I think he's best known for doing Scooby-Doo, or a voice on Scooby-Doo. I can't remember if it was actually Scooby-Doo himself, or I'm gonna try and see. And he was in Ghostbusters, Battle of the Planets, of course, Scooby-Doo. Oh wow, and he did several voices. Shaggy was the voice he was known for, but he also did like Uncle Albert. He did a lot of Shaggy. He did a lot of Shaggy for Scooby-Doo. So it makes a lot of sense. Homeboys in Space. He was Space Kasem. Can't forget that appearance. Two Stupid Dogs, Tiny Toons Adventures. He was on tons of Sesame Streets. My Two Dads. Transformers the movie. For all you comic book fanatics, he was the voice of Cliff Jumper. So that's classic. Wish he would have been in maybe some of the newer stuff. Superpower Team Up, he was Robin or Dick Grayson. So that he's got some superhero cred. Been on Fantasy Island, and let's see, a lot. He did a lot of voiceover work. He did, of course, he did all those mashups back when Hanna-Barbera couldn't figure out enough of their own cartoons to not put them in together. So of course they had him in there with Dino Mutt, Dog Wonder. Trying to see if there's anything that was like, extremely out there that no one would know of. but Hong Kong Phooey, Hawaii, the original Hawaii Five-0. Trying to see if there's any really a bad movie that he was in. Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space, because you got to have that qualifier. Batman Superman Hour, which we'll be seeing shortly in the movies. Producer, a whole bunch of things. I got flying things flying at me. But yeah, Casey Kasem, I'm kind of saddened. That was a voice that you thought would never die, and will, because we will replay and replay and replay. I think me and the kids are going to watch some. I think we're going to watch some Scooby Doo and think of Casey Kasem, the man, the myth, the legend. Rest in peace. Definitely gone on in a better place. And oh, what was his sign off? I can't remember what his famous sign off was. I just was thinking of it right now. Can't think of it because Ziegenbach has clouded my mind. And this is just me sitting and talking, and this is what the show is about: me sitting and talking and BSing and waiting for. Uh-oh, Lonnie sent me a message. What happened? I can't get in for some reason. Let's see if I can't send him a link. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to re-invite him to the show. Oh, and I'm up here scratching my head and causing the naps to come out. Let's see if that works. Maybe that'll do it. I've sent an invite. I've got to stop picking my nose online. I think that's what it is. Is me picking my nose online has made it harder and harder for me to.
What's that?
Get the show go. Oh. And the show is live, so now I have to whisper.
What? Oh yeah, it says I'll show it to you later. It said 5 o'clock.
All right, and I'm gonna do a quick mute, and then wait for him to get ready. And I know he can hear me. Lonnie, when you get back on, you're gonna have to put headphones on. So. He's probably hearing babies in the background and everything else. There was other things we were talking about on the show. I can't remember exactly what it is. I swore I put this on. I'm double checking right now. This is supposed to be a public show. Anybody should be able to walk in. So as we take this commercial break, I will remind you all of the beer that I have in my hand. Ziegenbach, Beer of Champions. The Beer of Champions, Ziegenbach. Do some quick reading real quick while I'm waiting. Oh, and I will turn it back, and I've got to unmute his channel. Possibly? No? Maybe? There we go. Oh, no, wait. One more time. There he is. There we go. You're unmuted now.
Okay, let's see. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
I can. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Testing. I don't think I.
Ah, shit.
Hold on. Let me make sure I didn't. And he left. He's joining back, everybody. Lonnie is coming back to the show. He's going to give us our Oh, there he is.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Lonnie, how you
Hey, Lonnie,
doing?
how you doing? Hey, what's up?
Not too
Too
much.
too
I,
much.
I do have
I
to
do have to
suggest
suggest
headphones.
headphones. Oh, I was. Boo was calling me from work, and I had to talk to her.
Oh, well,
So
that
she
and
was
I'm
on her
getting the
one and only.
echo.
She was on her one and only break. So
Ah, okay.
okay. Yeah, so I had to talk to her because we're meeting when she gets off.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So plus,
And you,
apparently
I,
we switched shifts today. She asked me yesterday if I would work her early shift, and and then I would work. She would work my late shift because I had a 5 hour shift. Well, it turns out after I agreed and everything was switched. I thought my schedule was supposed to be 5 to 9. Apparently, it was 4:30 to 9, and she was about 15 minutes late getting to work
oh,
because of it. Because she has a habit of just rolling in at time when it's time to start and just starts
right,
instead of like me. I'm always there at least a half hour to an hour early just so I can kick back and relax before starting.
right, exactly.
So she got there and they're like, "Where have you been? Are you okay?" And they're like, "I thought I was supposed to start at 5."
Oh, Lordy.
So she's sitting there saying, "Hey, I was supposed to start at 4:30." I'm like, "What?"
Oh, that's too funny.
Oh
Oh.
yeah.
Um, Echo. We're picking up
We're
your
picking up
speaker.
your speaker. Picking up my speaker. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
So I'm hearing
Let me just
everything
move it a
I'm
little bit
saying.
further away. Everything I'm saying. Okay, I just moved it further away from the computer. Is that any better?
Let's see.
Let's see.
Does it? It's not as bad, but it's still picking it up.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Yep, no problem. He's rolling out the headphones.
Come on, damn it. There we
Oh,
go.
cords and cables. Oh, you know what? When you plug it in, it may switch again. We'll see. Oh, there you are.
Oh, hold on. Wrong.
Oh, I heard you for a second there. There you are.
Okay, how's this?
Oh, that's good.
Really? You can hear me a lot better now?
Um, there is a weird.
Hold on a second. God damn it. I'm not even hearing you. Hold on.
Okay.
I should be able to hear you in my headphones and God damn it. Hold on. Can't fuck see where this is supposed to plug in at.
Uh-oh.
Hey, it would be easier if it was damn thing.
Well, even if it was just you doing just the headphones and not the mic, then that'd be because your other mic's fine. Uh-oh, I think I lost you. Yep, you're frozen. He's a frozen. Yep, he's a frozen. Yep, we'll take it. And he's back. Maybe.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, there. I can hear you a little bit. You're a little muffled. You're a little muffled, but I can hear you.
Ah. Comical. Okay.
You know, but we do get a good view of your wall, and I think that's what's important.
Okay.
Oh, you're real light, but let's see if I can. You may need to turn your volume up. I think, but I think that's it. Here, yeah, I was gonna say, come out, come back in, and then the things we do. The things we do here, folks, to get the show going. I tell you. Um, After these technical difficulties, we'll be right back. Oh, there you go. And I cannot hear you through your. You're very light in the microphone. So it may just be you might need to turn the microphone up. That might be the only.
Okay, how's this?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, now I can hear you.
All right.
There we go. And now we don't have. No, we don't have echo.
No echo.
Right. I do, although I do hear rubbing, but that may just be. Yeah, that's weird. Do you hear that?
Rubbing?
Yeah, it's like a weird rubbing sound. Anyway, I'm going to go on with the show. I care less.
So, what's been going on there, bro? I hope you're feeling better. I know you said you were sick last week.
I was sick last week, had a weird allergic reaction to mosquito bites, which I have a tendency to have usually like at the very, very beginning of the allergy season, summer allergy season. I always have one time where, for whatever reason, my allergies just go haywire, and I thought I was sick. I thought I was like sick, like with like strep throat or something, and I took some Benadryl, and next thing you know, it all clear. I was like, oh, I guess it was allergies. Oh, I got it. So, and had I known that, I would have taken medicine earlier and been fine earlier. Mowed the yard, which I still need to do. Let's see. So the last show was almost a week ago. I'm trying to find out so it was the 8th. Okay, so there's a gnat flying around in the room. I don't know where it's from. We've got Ziegenbach as the beer. And I want to get that gnat. No, I'm not, because it flew away. Doggone it. Things I was going to talk about on the show today would have been, Harrison Ford and the hurt ankle, the possibility of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being in the Avengers 2 movie, Aquaman probably being introduced in the next DC movie, which is interesting. What other rumors was I going to bring out? Possible villain being the Will Martian, and a sign I saw on a web page that said, "In case of fire, please leave the building before posting it on a social network," which I thought was actually kind of good there. I thought that was a good one. Oh, and Paddington Bear being made into a movie. That was the last one. That was it. So those were the things I was going to talk about. Yeah, I haven't. I've read some of their book, or read some of his books. I had to be like just starting to read and reading Paddington Bear. It's about a bear that gets lost in Paddington Station.
Oh.
So, and clumsy little innocent bear, his adventures. I think there was a note on the bear that said, please look after this bear. Thank you, something to that extent. And the family takes him home and they teach him and raise him and stuff. So, the adventures of a bear, it's very similar to Curious George. I thought, hey, if they could do Curious George as a movie, about time they did Paddington Bear. So, and I think they have, is it Colin Firth? Yeah, Colin Firth as the voice of Paddington Bear, which we'll see how that works. Works out, I guess. British works. More for the kids, I'm gonna take the boys to it,
Oh. Yeah. So what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking a Ziegenbach Amber. I believe you can only get Ziegenbach in Texas.
Ziegenbach. Well, let's just say that
you still do it in the southern comfort. You know, that's nice and all, but I have
Ah.
Whoa! Look at you.
so, so I came prepared today. You know, I may start off with my beer, but I want to end up feeling real good.
Yeah, I just can't do too much because I'm going to be driving here in a little while, in about 2.5 hours. Well, yeah,
No.
about 2 hours. I'll be driving.
Oh, you just drink enough
So
that you can pee out in an hour, and you'll be fine.
yeah, yeah. Well, I refuse to drink and drive, and if I'm impaired because my grandmother was killed by a truck driver. So.
Yeah, understandable, and I'm 100%. I'm trying to remember my whole because I do have to for performances, but normally, even when I'm performing, it's usually like I do wait about an hour or two before I leave, and like the last half hour before I end drumming, I stop drinking, and then I try and slowly take down my drums. Try and get something to eat from the bar if they've got some type of food, and then I carefully caravan home with everybody else. I usually can't wait till it comes the day where it's we all leave and go in the same vehicle. It's a lot easier that way. Designated driver, and then I can go do what I need to do. But but until then, I am extremely cautious.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one story that really was interesting was the whole idea of Aquaman being introduced into the DC movie world.
That I've been waiting for them to do that. Just because Aquaman would be like just so awesome and cool.
As he talks to Little Boo.
Hey, it's a turtle.
Okay.
Aquaman's buddy. Aquaman's new buddy.
Yes. Little turtle. Little pink turtle. That I mistakenly called Gamera. So I mean,
Gamera. Hey, Gamera has a baby. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Aquaman's over there in the corner just going, "Don't blow me up! Don't blow me up! Don't blow me up with the fire!"
I honestly, I've been waiting for them to do an Aquaman movie for a long time. To me, it's the next logical step. They've done Superman, they've done Batman. It had Wonder Woman as a freaking live action show in the '70s, for God's sake. They never
Right.
did Aquaman.
Yeah.
And if they're gonna do a Justice League movie, they need to get off their asses and get things started. They've done fucking Green Lantern.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do Green Lantern,
and they screwed that up. They could have done so much more. I mean, if they hadn't turned him into been so comical during the fucking movie, it would have been better.
Yeah, they did it for the kids, really, almost. It's almost. I mean, granted, it wasn't a kid movie, but it was that comical level. That cheesiness that even though I watched it and I said, "Oh, this is a good start," but I was still wanting that first X-Men movie type feel. I wanted it to be kind of grounded and real.
Absolutely. I mean, they really need to. They need to do this. I mean, that's the scuttlebutt I heard on the internet. That's why they didn't come out with the new the Batman Superman movie they were talking about doing, is because they supposedly are going to do a Justice League instead. That's what I heard. That was the rumor that I caught on the internet. Was that's why they didn't release the Batman Superman movie.
What I'm hearing currently, and this is fresh rumors from Screen Rant, is they're saying that they're doing the Batman versus Superman, but they're calling it Dawn of Justice. So they're doing it the launch of the Justice League.
Huh.
So they've got and they're doing, and I can give you this much: they're saying that Jason Momoa, the Dothraki from Game of Thrones, is going to be Aquaman. So I'm wondering how that's going to work out. He's
Hold on, wait, see, I'm trying to remember who that one was. Are you talking about the guy that the barbarian that married the blonde? Is that who that is?
That is going to be Aquaman.
Aquaman's supposed to be a fucking blonde.
They can dye his hair. They can dye his hair.
I would certainly hope they would, because I mean I hate the way Hollywood fucking does this shit. I'm sorry, I'm cussing and swearing, but it fucking pisses me off.
That's what I want.
Quit the fucking bullshit. Quit the bullshit. Fucking do it the way it's supposed to be in the fucking comic books. Aquaman's a blonde, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at the picture. I'm going, there's something wrong with this Aquaman casting. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, they can get away with the bigger, bulkier Superman. They can get away with the not so voluptuous Wonder Woman. They can get they can have Batman be the ex Daredevil. I can kind of buy that, but now now I'm kind of worried about the Aquaman choice. But no, you agree? Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's just, oh my god, they better bleach his hair if he's going to be the part. They better freaking do it, because there's going to be a lot of pissed off people. I can't be the only person who fucking feels this way.
No, you're not. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, yeah. And I get why they want to do the Justice League now, and they want to start that bandwagon, because even Sony wants to do it with Spider-Man and doing the Sinister Six. I'm like, the Avengers had something magical that I don't know if you guys are going to catch that wave. It's not just put a whole bunch of superheroes together and everybody's going to be happy. It's got to be the right superheroes together.
Puny gods.
If you don't have your Hulk equivalent with the Justice League, you guys are not going to have a good movie. I mean, Thor, wonderful story that they brought him into, and Captain America, great, and then Iron Man was just kicking butt from the beginning. So yeah. They had it, and they planned it, and they've got a plan, and they're working it, and they're melding it together. And I've heard rumors about how they're going to, like the last couple of, there was a reason that they did what they did with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and there's been a couple of photos, although they haven't been revealed, but there's a couple of photos saying that some of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have been seen on the set of the new Avengers movie. So the plan is working. We may not have liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the beginning, but they went, oh wait, I know what people want. They want some more of the movie crossover with the TV crossover, and they want it to be bigger and better and more explodier, if that's a word. So I think they finally got it. And they don't have to put the whole cast of. I mean, you've got to put Coulson back in there eventually. They've got to find out that he's alive. It's going to happen. You can't keep that secret away from them now that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s to Earth. Hell Hydra. Anyway, so you can't keep that away from them anymore. So it's got to happen eventually, and hopefully it happens in the Avenger movie, or maybe they sow the seed of it in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, and then it carries over into the movie. And that'd be very interesting too. But that was my Marvel dick sucking that I did for for just now. I'm realizing more and more how much of a because I had a lot of good Batman comics growing up, but I'm realizing that I mostly collected Marvel, and that's kind of scaring me now. It's like I only collected Batman back in the day. That's not right, Alan. Although I tried to grab a couple of Death of Spider-Man, or Death of Spider. See, listen.
Death of Superman.
Death of Superman.
I got that. I actually went out of my way several years ago. I think it was like back in 2005 or six or something that I actually went out of my way and found those books on, I think it was eBay or someplace, and actually bought the entire series all at once, the Death of Superman, the Return of Superman, and all that together.
Right.
And they're like, this came in like a 3-volume set or something like that.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I would love to do something like that, but I just realized that I saw the covers of those and went, cool, and and that's bad. It's not. I should be more of a. I should give these a chance. Is what I'm saying. I should give them a chance. There's nothing wrong with their comics. Their comics are just on the same level as Marvel. I shouldn't be Marvelistic. I shouldn't be a Marvelist. I shouldn't be.
When I was younger, I actually had more DC comics than I did Marvel.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the Spider-Man, but I was all about, when growing up, I was all about the Superman comics, and I didn't get very many Batman comics. I had an occasional one here and there, but it was more Superman and Legion of Superheroes, Justice League. It was more those than I did the Marvel. I mean, Marvel, when I was really younger, it's like I had some of the ones I loved by Marvel was the Dracula and the Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
I would get occasionally. I get Fantastic Four.
Right.
Just like I said, I've got a bunch of those, like we've discussed before. I have all kinds of those on freaking PDF and other formats to actually read, from the very freaking beginning.
Right.
Yes, I mean, of course there was Captain America. Of course, I did like my Captain America. Right. It kills me to think the comics that I if I had been able to save those over the years.
Oh yeah,
the ones that I had, if I had been a kid and truly appreciated what they could be worth someday.
Right. Oh. And when I was collecting, I appreciated them, but I don't think I even realized, even when I was collecting them and knew the numbers behind them, it still didn't 100% get it that, if I saved them if I put them in a vault, put them in a safe, that they would really be worth something right now. Because I think the only thing I still have of any value from my old collection is this. That's it. Doggone it. It was in a separate thing. 94 Flair Spider-Man gold foil. I don't know if you can see the gold foil.
Yeah.
That's it. Out of the hundreds and hundreds of cards and comic books, this is all I got left. And this bastard that stole the rest of them, I'm coming after you, some bitch. Fine as it.
Well, I'll tell you what killed me was when back in '85, whenever I moved from Pennsylvania to Arizona, I had a bunch of my stuff packed up in a cabinet that I was having moved. My father and I had taken Greyhound out to Arizona, and my mother and my sister, my brother-in-law, were going to be driving out after us, with the U-Haul.
Right. Oh.
And I had to this day would have been worth some money. And I was pissed because I found out that they pulled my stuff out of the cabinet that I had stuff in. Stuff that I treasured that I had in this damn cabinet. They took them out because my mother wanted to put some pots and pans in this fucking cabinet, and my stuff got left behind. These comics that would have been worth some bucks right now got left behind, and all other stuff that was I had hey, this was 1985. I had an Atari 2600 left behind because they pulled it out of my cabinet that I had my stuff in. The stuff that was imperative that I wanted to make sure got there, I got shit on.
Oh, that reminds me of the story of and this is kind of embarrassing, and don't laugh too hard, but I had stuffed animals. I had It could have filled up 2, maybe 3 rooms of stuffed animals, and they were like bears, rabbits, cats, dogs. People just gave me a lot of stuffed animals growing up as a kid, and I turned like 13 years old, and my mom was clean. I went to go see my dad, and came back from a summer vacation. It was like, where are all my stuffed animals, Mom? She's like, well, you got Transformers now. I didn't think you would still want the stuffed animals. Like but that could have been worth money. Thanks, Mom. Put them in a put them in a plastic
Transformers
bag.
now, son.
Yeah, I gotta collect them Transformers. I'm like, oh, but they were not as soft as the teddy bears. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what. You fessed up to that. I'll tell you. When I was a little kid, I was much younger than 13, but I had my. Some people may have had security blankets or whatever. I had a stuffed frog. Okay, and I mean, my parents wanted to get rid of this thing for the longest time, but I took that. That frog was my security. I didn't take it to school with me, but I'll tell you what. If I went anywhere else, if I went over to that frog went with me, And I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and I come home from school one day to find out that my frog was missing. And I'll tell you what, it ripped me up, man. I was like, "Where's my frog? Where's my frog?" Oh, it's terrible.
oh yeah. I mean, the things we get attached to. I tell you, there's something weird about that. Comics, not so weird though. That's understandable. I don't want anybody.
That's money.
Them teddy bears was money, Ma. Look at Beanie Babies.
Oh hell!
I think they could have been the first Beanie Babies, Ma.
Oh, look at that beanie turtle. This is part of the beanie. This is it's got the TY symbol on it.
TY. It's a beanie Gamera. There's Gamera.
See it. Hold on. Let's see if I can get it in there. Let's see if I can get it in here so you can actually see it.
Yeah, collectors. Beanie Boo.
Yeah, the Beanie Boo.
Beanie Boo. Beanie Boo.
Yeah.
Everybody say it once. Beanie Boo.
Beanie Boo. Beanie Boo.
We're not drinking at all, folks. Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah, I think it does deserve another.
Yeah, that after that confessional, we almost had tears coming out.
Yeah, that deserves another swig, man. To your teddy bears, man. To your teddy bears.
We're gonna drop a couple of these down for my homies. Teddy bear, my Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh, Teddy Ruxpin. To your bears, to my frog, man.
I'm telling you, man. Everybody pour a little bit of the drink out for your bear.
Yeah.
Cubs are fucking up. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Fucking Cubs. Oh my God, it's hard to love a team. It's hard to love a baseball team when they're constantly losing.
Well, I haven't really been following it that much, but I heard, I have friends at work that follow the Pirates, so
Oh, speaking of them,
so close to Pittsburgh.
Beating my Cubs. So anyway.
Oh, is that who they beat recently?
Actually, the Cubs beat them twice, but then they came back and whipped our butts the last game of the series, and we haven't been able to win since then. So it's all your fault. we laid the smack down and messed them up somehow along the way. Yeah, you guys have a being close to Pittsburgh. That team's a good team. I do respect. I mean, yes, I say my smack about my teams, but I still respect all those teams out there, especially the ones that can constantly whip the Cubs. Constantly. I don't even think we're close to 550. I don't think we're close to 500. I really think we're crapping all over the place.
Yeah, maybe that movie they did several years ago should have been the Cubs instead of the Indians.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
That would have helped.
major league. although believe it or not, I was actually at part of the filming of that movie.
Oh,
Because
really?
the beginning of that movie was filmed at Corbett Field in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
That's where the Indians used to have their spring training. Was in Tucson.
Well, that's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
so I actually got to be there for part of the season, part of the filming. My aunt used to run the whole ballpark area where they used to play.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. And once again, it just makes me depressed about teams that Cubs, Bears, Houston Rockets. Gosh, I'm not doing good with any of the teams that I'm cheering right now.
Well, hey, the Penguins, they made it so far in the Stanley Cup Series, and then they shit a brick and.
Well, that's just like the Blackhawks. I mean, I can just keep the list going.
Oh yeah, I remember. When was it? Was it 91, 92 that the Penguins beat the Blackhawks for the Stanley Cup?
Yeah,
Somewhere
exactly.
around there. I know we kicked their asses pretty bad. That was when I think that was when we three-peated. We three-peated 3 years in a row. We won the Stanley Cup.
Now I'm drinking this like it's water.
I think it was 90, 91, and 92. 3 years in a row.
3 years in a row.
The Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Thanks for rubbing that in.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that was the days of Mario Lemieux and Paul Coffey, Yammer Yager. Hell, I used to party with those guys.
Oh, wow.
I used to drink with them because they had a bar there in Pittsburgh that they'd go to. I'd sit there and drink with them, and the whole thing was I didn't treat them like just anybody. I treated them like they're any other guy off the street.
Exactly.
Not once did I ask him for a freaking autograph.
Well, that's
Not
just
once.
like all the people I used to do stand up with, and we got to meet a couple of I met Kenny Smith, Houston Rockets, and some other. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the other major. Herschel Walker, met him, and all these other people that you do get that status as being popular and famous, but then there's a part of you that's just a normal person. You may be at the bar drinking a beer, and that's all you want to do. You don't want to sign an autograph. You don't want to.
Exactly. I'll tell you who else is like that. I'll tell you who is exactly like that. Because I know the guy personally. I used to sit and talk with the guy. This is when I first met you guys on Blogstar and Operator 11, because I used to work in the town the guy's living in. Mr. Dave Chappelle lived in Yellow Springs, Ohio. It was funny because my one neighbor, God rest his soul, he died right after I moved from Ohio. But he was 18 years old, and I took him to Yellow Springs one day, and we're walking down the street, and I'm walking by, and there's Dave, standing on the street, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, Dave, what's up?" And I keep walking on like it's nothing, and my friend, he's looking back, he's looking at me, he's looking back, he's like, "That was Dave Chappelle." I'm like, "Yeah?" He goes, "He says hi to you, he knows you." I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, why don't you introduce me?" Oh man, I'm like, "Man, he don't want to be bothered."
All right, yeah.
You don't like people bothering him, man. So I was like, when I see him, I just talk to him like he's anybody. If I take you back there, it's gonna be weird. If I take you back and start talking to him, "Oh yeah, that's my friend," because the way you're acting right now, you'd be all making a whole fool of yourself. You'd ask him for an autograph, have a picture taken with him or something. You don't like that shit.
Right. I mean, they only want their dick sucked so many times, and then they get tired of it. No. And see, it's funny about that is, like you were saying, you hung out with Dave. Well, one of Dave's good friends, Greg Roquel, I used to hang out with too all the time in comedy, and still have him. I still communicate with him on not so friendly of a basis just because it's on Facebook, but who From how Greg tells it, Dave and Greg are very close. I want to say maybe even Greg wrote some stuff for him on the show. So we have connections, man. We have connections. And now we can get all like, oh, we have connections.
Hell, I'll tell you what. It's like Dave. He's a nice guy. He just, like I said, he just didn't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
It's like I would see him. I would see him well enough, long enough to say, "Hey, Dave, how's it going?" And I mean, walked into the damn coffee shop the one day, and he's sitting there, sitting there on a Macintosh, on an iMac. And I asked him I said, "Hey, do you have any, how does that work for you with the iMac as opposed to like Windows and that?" And we had a small little conversation about it. It's like two ordinary people just standing, sitting there talking about whatever. It wasn't like, I wasn't saying, "Hey, yeah, you're a big star. Yeah, I want to tell I want to, can I have your autograph?" It's just two ordinary people just sitting there having a conversation. And that was where him and I kind of started talking, right there, And after that, he'd see me, he'd say hello, and it was just one of those things. And I mean, at the time I was managing one of the stores there in town.
Yeah. Yeah, that I understand that completely because I'm trying to remember the best version of the story, but hanging out with oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm multitasking, and that's why I'm having all the issues. I'm multitasking. I'm trying to get somebody the link because they're trying to join in the show as well, and I can't get my link to pop up. So of course, anybody we know, you wouldn't know him. I work with the gentleman.
Oh, okay.
And he's a gamer and would probably come in and want to talk about video games, which would be great.
You could do that. I don't know as much about the video games these days. I could talk classic video games.
Right.
Sega, Atari, but as far as some of these newer games, I was disappointed when Diablo 3 came out and find out it was all multiplayer, and I was like, fuck that.
Right.
I was looking for my nostalgia from Diablo 2 where I could play it by myself.
Right, exactly. And like the game we would probably be 100% talking about would be the newest Star Wars game. Although there is a Star Wars game in the works currently that is like Battlefield 4 called Battlefront. And I'm a big Battlefield, actually I'm in the beta for the Battlefield Hardlines right now, playing that. Not sure 100% how I like it. It's got some interesting things since it's about money.
Okay, about the Battlefield, as in like the started out with the World War II Battlefield and proceeded
right
to.
Yeah, matter of fact, I played Battlefield 1942. I was one of the first adopters of that game, and that game was crazy because I remember when a patch came out on that game, and they had a mod called Desert Storm.
Desert Storm.
And that mod turned into Battlefield 2. And I was like, holy cow. Yeah, the people that did that mod, I guess, got in with the people liked it so much, they were like, holy cow, I guess there's a place for the original. Oh, I've got one of those myself. I've got that one. I've got the Battlefield 2.
I just happen to have a thing full of CDs sitting over here next to me. And this, I was like, I bet I still have that in there.
That's a classic. I've got the Battlefield 2042.
Oh, jeez.
The space one that they had, yeah.
Yeah, my favorites though were oh shit. There's my Call of Duty. Where the fuck is my Medal of Honor? I can't find my Medal of Honor.
See, now with everything being all downloadable, I've got all mine on my Stream or my Origin account.
Yeah, I would end up having to do that probably at this point. But I had I had Medal of Honor. That was my favorite one. My friends and I used to play was the Medal of Honor because we used to love all the when I was down in Tucson, when Medal of Honor was real popular, we had all the freaking mods for it. We had all the different maps for the Medal of
Oh.
Honor, and I mean, my favorite one was this one. It was you were like in the Alps or something.
Oh, okay.
And it's like you were up in the Alps and you're fighting against each other, and there was like through there was this one thing where there was like a freaking cable cars going across the map, and you could freaking crawl up on top of the thing and go across the cables
Oh, that's awesome.
to get over to the other side and or ride on the cable car across the fucking map. I mean, it was freaking awesome.
Oh, wow. That sounds awesome.
And it was like a winter scene, like a winter map too.
Oh, cool.
There was snow and everything.
Cool. Oh, well, he's not going to join. Apparently, his wife wants music. I'm telling him I'm gaming after the show. We're going to get our game on. From what I've seen of the new Star Wars Battlefront, it looks pretty much like the Battlefield 4 thing. I'm really excited because there's been a Battlefront game before, and there's definitely something to be said about them doing a Star Wars shoot 'em up. I want to say there was a Battlefront before. Maybe it wasn't Battlefront. Maybe it was called something else. Maybe it was called something. I'll have to look it up because I want to say there was one that was similar to the Call of Duty / Battlefield 42 before, done by a different.
I think.
Now my curiosity is all. Now I've got to look it up. Excuse me while I Google.
The only I've had a couple of Star Wars games. It's like for the Wii, the original Wii, I had the what the hell was it? The one with the Force or whatever. Can't remember what it's called. I know they came out with a second one, quite a while back too. And then also for the PSP, I have a one. I think it might be a Battlefront game for the PSP. I can't remember. But,
okay, I found a list of games. Let's see, there was some lightsaber duel games. There was Yoda's Battle Slash. Okay, I don't think this is a list of games. There is a list of Star Wars video games. Holy mother of God! I didn't realize how many Star Wars games there. We could do a show on this. There was
sure.
There was Galaxies, which I played. I played Starfighter. I've played the Pod Racer game. I've played Jedi Knight. I've played X-Wing. I played X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Oh, I loved X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Do you remember the original Star Wars video game?
Oh yes, the Vector Graph, the Vector Graph arcade game. Yeah.
Yeah, you're sitting there. And you're flying through. You're battling all the TIE fighters, and then you end up going through to destroy the Death Star, and you hear Ben Kenobi talking to you. Let the Force be, may the Force be with you, and all this and that, and I've lost R2,
Oh yeah, and I could never figure out when that game was supposed to end. That game, because I've would get to the end of the trench, and I would get the missiles through, and you've won, and then you would start all over. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yes.
And it would be like twice as hard too, like the asterisks that they would shoot, because it wasn't an actual laser. It was an asterisk, a big asterisk.
Yeah, you had to sit there and shoot those to keep them from hitting you.
And those would just get bigger and bigger and bigger as the game would.
And then what really fucking got me was, instead of going through a trench, it's like you were over top of it and you had the little towers and stuff shooting at you, instead of before you get to the trench or something. And I was like, you have these little things on the ground that they would shoot up the little asterisks to try and get you, and you had to shoot all those, and then the asterisk, and it's just wow.
Yeah. Oh gosh, they've got it broken down by years. They've got 1980, 1990. I had the Star Wars chess, and I had the Star Wars Monopoly game. That's embarrassing to remember.
You know what I had? Yes, you know what? I bet I could probably pull that out of here somewhere too.
Uh-oh. That's a
The Star
hilarious.
Wars Monopoly.
Yeah.
That is, oh wow.
That was, and you know what? I say that as it was embarrassing, but I just remembered how much fun that was
It was.
because you would buy something from one of those areas, and then it would do all the animatron. It would do like a little animation thing for you and stuff. Oh, that was just like you would buy. I guess you would
Yeah.
buy like it wasn't like Park Place or something. I forgot what they would call it, but you would put like hotels down and stuff. Oh gosh, that was oh
Yeah,
that was
it
awesome.
was a fun game.
I probably
It was
got
a
the
fun
CD
game.
somewhere.
Hold on. Now I got to look for that one. Hold on a second here.
Yeah, and see,
Let me see
there's
if I can pull this out just to
Battlefront.
show people.
Yeah,
Just to show people, just
you got your game cred.
yeah, gotta,
Empire at War. I forgot
Yeah.
about that real time strategy game. Oh, you got it. There it is. Do do do. Star Wars Monopoly. There it is. Oh, I love that game. That was awesome. That's
Yes.
awesome. You know what's scary is I actually had the board game as well as the had the board game as well as the
I might have. I can't remember because it's like I had a whole bunch of freaking board games that I had when I was in Arizona that I lost when I moved. And this is when I moved from Arizona.
right.
I lost a bunch of stuff. And I mean, oh man, I had tons of no, it was it was when I first moved down to Arizona after my divorce. And I had it there, and I had a whole bunch of my games in a shed, and somebody broke into the shed and stole a bunch of stuff out of the shed, and I'm sure some of it was my games. And I mean, I had tons of different types of Monopoly. Oh man, I mean, I had the Narnia Monopoly. Oh no,
Right.
no, it was Narnia Stratego. It was Narnia Stratego. But the Monopoly games, I had several different classic versions of Monopoly.
Oh, I know there was like a Harry Potter one.
I didn't have that one. But I know I'm almost positive I had a Star Wars. I had a Looney Tunes one. A Looney Tunes Monopoly.
That's
And that was one of my favorites because it's like one of my favorite pieces, of course, was Taz.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And they were little gold pieces, as opposed to your normal pewter. But I had different versions of the Monopoly as well as Stratego, as well as I had tons of Trivial Pursuit games.
Oh yes.
I love Trivial Pursuit, man. It's like one of my things. I had like the classic. I had the and of course, not to mention I also had like the little card that when they first came out with different versions of Trivial Pursuit, they would just send you out. You'd have
with the new cards, yeah.
The new cards, you would just buy the cards as opposed to the whole board.
Right.
Movies and TV and stuff like that, and I had so many different versions of Trivial Pursuit. I had the '80s edition; that was like one of my favorites.
Oh.
I also have somewhere. I don't know if I still have it here somewhere, but I might even still have the one that was an electronic one. That you were able to download the questions and stuff. I love that because it had comics. It had a thing for the comics and stuff right on there too, I think. And I just.
Oh yeah,
love that.
That's awesome. That's. I'm speechless because I was looking at the Star Wars stuff and I saw they had like the X-Men Battles of Power, they had the X-Men vs. TIE Fighter. The other. I was just like, and I remember playing all of them. And I remember the last X-Men was X-Men Alliance, and I know for a fact that I have a running version on it somewhere on my system.
The only X-Men, actually there's two X-Men games that I've played. The original was the X-Men game that they had for the Sega Genesis.
Right.
The very first one, where they were trying, they fought against several of the bosses.
And now that I think about it, it may not have been called X-Men Alliance. It was the X-Men versus Capcom. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, X-Men versus Capcom. That would have been interesting. I never did play that one.
They had the Street Fighter games. It was based off the Street Fighter stuff, and what they did was they did Street Fighter versus Capcom, and that was a big hit because you would play like Rue versus uh, Bomberman, and you would fight
See,
it out to the duel.
I never got that much into the Street Fighter. I was always the Mortal Kombat.
Now, I do love my Mortal Kombat, and there's a new Mortal Kombat coming out, and I may have to grab a new game.
Oh.
And it's coming out. I believe they're saying it's on the PS4, so I'm thinking that's going to be a pretty nice looking game. But I'm hoping they're going to get more to the 2D, a little bit away from the 3D. But
Yeah, I mean the 3D to me it's getting too much.
Yeah.
Get
Now,
back to the classic.
Like Street Fighter has pretty much stayed, except for I think there was one 3D Street Fighter. All of the rest have been 2D, and they've gone to that comic look. They still look cartoonish, and the current game that I play with my son is Street Fighter 4, and I'm pretty sure now that it's about time for me to. And I've got a Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition arcade in my garage, full blown, tall.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Love me some when it comes to Street Fighter. Love me some Street Fighter. Now, I love the idea of because Capcom had so many characters of them adding the characters in there. But once they got the X-Men in there, and then they did the X-Men versus Capcom, and then they did the X-Men versus the Capcom had a subdivision called SNK, which was sort of their Japanese / American games.
Okay, got a question for you on that one. On there, I could swear. Do you remember? Okay, I'm sure you probably know about the anime and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember a cartoon called G-Force?
Yes.
And I swear I remember seeing a commercial for one of these video games where it looked like the members of G-Force on there. At least the guy with the freaking white outfit with the long nose, beak on him, and
right. And I may have to look that up to confirm, but I want to say that there is a game for Battle of the Planets, which is the original name of it.
Yes, Battle of the Planets. Yes.
Sorry, I remember
their spaceship. Their spaceship was freaking awesome.
I went all nerdy. I'm sorry, but anyway.
No, I'm glad you said that because I couldn't think of the name of the original cartoon.
Right.
Yeah, Battle of the Planets.
Battle of the Planets. Now, I know there's a game for it. I don't remember if they melded that with the other Capcom Street Fighter stuff. I have to look that up. And I just got the buzzer on the time. The kids are all coming to the door going, "Daddy, Daddy!" And I was like, "Is it that time already? Do I got to change a diaper?" What? But that I know there's a rumor that they're thinking about doing a live-action version of Battle of the Planets, and I think that
would be kick-ass.
That would be kick-ass. There was Battle of the Planets, but there was also another one that the Japanese did a live-action to, as well as an anime, and it's called Aratron. And it was and there's Battleship. I can't think of the actual name of the cartoon, but it looked like a naval battleship, but it was a spaceship with a big cannon in the front. And that cartoon was a Japanese anime cartoon that the American. I can't think of the name of the series either. And then they had Aratron, which was one that had, instead of it was the same concept. It was a battleship, but it had a big, gigantic, pointy drill in the front, and when it, couldn't do anything else with somehow the drill would make a shield, or the drill would drill through the enemy. Amazing things a drill can do. But it was on that same lines, and there was if you watch not the new Godzilla, the second to newest Godzilla Final War, the ships they designed in that are designed off of those ships and some of the Battle of the Planet ships.
Huh.
And it was funny because at first I was like, that can't be Aratron, is it? And then I looked at IMDb and they were like, they based it off of it. I was like, oh wow. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And that lends me to believe that the live action one, especially in the Japanese film culture because they love to take their anime and make if we would go through and look at some of their live action stuff and then look at their anime and then go, wait a second, how did and they did it. How did they do that? And why did they do that? And there's no reason. There's a movie called Vampire Effect. It has a cameo of Jackie Chan in it.
Oh,
It is about. It has a vampire storyline, but it's based off of one of their vampire anime comics, and more of a manga than anything else. And it's just like,
See, I've never been able to get into the manga thing. You know, I just, you know, I'm not a fan of that type of artwork.
And a lot of it's the art.
The big eyes and you know the unreal looking, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I hate some of the new cartoons that they've come out for even the Marvel and the fucking DC. It's like they cartoonized them as opposed to like the old Super Friends and Justice League. At least they look like real people.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't have the big eyes and exaggerated facial features, or you know how Batman and the new Batman cartoons, his face is fucking flat. It's like, come on.
Well, the only way it works is if it's Dragon Ball Z. That's the only time it works because that it works for the story. You know what I mean?
I don't even watch that crap.
Oh, it works for Dragon Ball Z because Dragon Ball Z is 100% just it's loony. It's a loony story about loony characters. You get it? And they have to look loony for you to believe that it's this loony story and this loony world happening. It doesn't make sense for them to go realistic with Dragon Ball Z because how are you gonna be realistic about a green tubby man that teaches people and eats cookies? I mean, come on. It just doesn't make sense. Although
what is it? What's the card game that everybody
Pokemon
are playing these days?
Pokemon.
Oh, I can't stand
Digimon.
that shit either.
Yeah, I can't.
Pokemon, I can't stand that stuff. You know, I think they got that Pokemon shit just from the Dragon Ball shit.
Yeah,
I think that's the offspring from that shit. You know.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pokemon is pretty much a direct offspring of Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball, there was something once you get past the cartooniness of it and how the story makes sense because it's cartoony, then you listen, it does get into a comic book like storyline, and then you go, oh, okay, I get it. But you have to it's getting past and they don't go over exaggerated as Pokemon does. But there's they don't do like the big. Let me think about this. They do the big, gigantic tear. That all anime. Something happens, they get hit in the head, and there's a big tear next to their head or something. They do that, but it's not on an every other scene basis. You know what I mean? It's not so over exaggerated that you get tired of it within the first 30 minutes. It's like, oh, it happened. He gets hit in the head. They do the tear, but most of the time they have these serious drag-out fights, and there's not that over exaggeration of it, other than the guy's got big eyes, or he's got dots in his forehead, or he looks like a racist. The one character that looks like a big fat guy that's just like Denzel Washington black. With big red lips, and they call him Moo Moo. There's things like that happens. But hey, it's in that weird comic. I think he's like a spiritual guy. You die, you see him, and then he brings you back to Earth if they can get all the Dragon Balls. It's oh no, my Dragon Balls. Anyway, and the other thing is Dragon Ball Z has a tendency to make fun of itself, and I think that's. Pokemon doesn't do that. Dragon Ball Z, they make I know there's definitely been a couple of times where somebody gets kicked in the nuts and they go, "Oh my God, my Dragon Balls!" I mean, that's hilarious. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. That's funny. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, well, Lonnie, until next time, I'm going to let you get to your secret rendezvous and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah, I got about an hour before I'll be leaving for that. So,
yeah, I'll let you sober up, and we'll do our thing again next. Oh no, wait, there's a good chance I will be on my laptop doing this from my in-laws' house, possibly outside, which could be a very interesting show. Let's see. you know what? I'm on vacation in 2 weeks. What happened next week? What I
Oh,
may do is
I don't know. I don't know if you saw, my post the other day, but just a little, good news, coming from
oh
me.
yeah,
My promotion at work. Got that
yes.
promotion at work.
I knew there was something about you that I was like, there's something I'm supposed to be asking him about, and I can't think of what it is, and I feel embarrassed. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
anything. That way, he can bring it up, and I can
Yeah.
look like a superstar. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that promotion at work. I start that on the 21st. The only thing that's going to drive me crazy right now is that all my freaking schedules are kind of conflicting with getting together with Boo, and because they have me working every freaking night. That it's like I don't see my schedule yet for the first week that I start there, but the following week shows up, and it's all like 2 to 11, 2 to 11,
Holy
5
cow.
5 to 11, 2 to 11. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, come on, I'm gonna have to talk to the boss and say, listen, I don't mind, being the low guy totem, having to work till 11, a little more often than other people, but I don't want to be the only person working till 11 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
You don't.
I do have a life outside of work,
Yeah. And I gotta play with that life a little bit and show it that I love it and slowly jerk it and not jerk it hard, because if I jerk it hard, whoa. What I meant was, yeah, I'm a married man. I shouldn't masturbate. That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
well, that's the thing. I'm not a married man, but there is somebody they're around that I'd like to be able to get together with.
Exactly. You got everybody's a
I,
squirrel.
yeah.
Everybody's a squirrel in the world, and everybody wants their nut. So, on that note, you guys who've been watching the show, hey, email the show, osnapshow@gmail.com. Send us your ideas. Maybe me and Lonnie will start actually writing down what we're supposed to be talking about and formulate an actual show.
Actually stick it to a line, yeah.
A line.
Stick it to a topic.
Break out some stuff. I will announce on this show that I'm going to probably start doing some donation things and letting people donate to the show. And if you want to donate $1 to the show, anything to make the show a little bit more frequent would work. And then me and Lonnie will have to work out some other stuff off the air. And get to a point of, if this stuff starts making money, then we got to start spreading wealth.
That's right.
And then the other thing I want to add is, during my vacation, not this week, but next week, the week of the 21st, I guess, or 22nd, I guess, technically, since Sunday starts weeks. The 22nd, I will be in Illinois, so there might be some extra shows. When I get bored, I may just show up online and start talking crazy mess to you. Be all like, my in-laws, they funny. But I can't talk about them because I'm staying at the house. Stuff like that.
That's something else. Got to stop thinking about this. If this schedule screws me up, man, I don't know how often I'll be able to be at the show. So we got to figure something out.
Yeah, like I said, I do want to. This works currently, but I do understand that it has to change. And I was thinking about changing it up myself, but I'm not sure.
We'll figure something out, man. We'll figure
something out. And the one thing I was talking to my daughter about on before Father's Day, which she made kind of really reminded me, is I'm really bad at communication, apparently. So I've got to work at talking to people. And even though this show is my big outlet to get all that stuff out, I don't talk to people enough. So I need to do some follow up on some other stuff and another
idea I've had also is, occasionally if we can get more people into the show, maybe I'll whip out the tarot cards and do a couple readings for people while we're doing the show. Like little one card readings like I used to do on Blockstar for people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that actually was one thing I was going to talk to you offline about, but excuse me, burping into the microphone. I do know people watch, and I know they watch it after the fact, because I've had people come to me at work and mention things about the show, and I'm like, wait, I'm trying to do some ticket analysis, and you want to talk about what I said on the show, really? Thank you. Yes, I do like burps. So anyway, it's like, so I do know people are watching. I do know people
Yeah.
closely are watching, and so and I got in a little bit of a thing at work because some of the girls at work were concerned that I was saying a certain girl's name on a show the other time. Well, she asked me,
Uh-oh.
and
Uh-oh.
she doesn't work for us no more. So hey,
Oh!
no, seriously, she had given her 2 week notice in, and then I give her a shout out on the show after she left. So I mean,
Oh,
but
okay.
but it was they were all like, oh, she's gone, and now you mention her name. I was like, yeah, that's the rule. You leave the job, I'll talk about you and use your name. You're at the job. Well, I ain't saying your name, but I'm talking all about you. You know who you are. So, and on that note, to everybody watching, we're stopping the show right now.